Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is this week's Comfort One Shot, another character to add to the monthly playlist, Iida Tenya, and this one is titled Expert Tracker. Iida, ex-female listener. Enjoy. It was some ridiculous hour in the morning that you were awoken abruptly by a sturdy rap-tap-tap on the door, and you jumped violently, still under your covers, as your eyelids flung open. "Ugh," you groaned in reply. "Good morning, Yin," the voice of your secret boyfriend called from the other side of the door. You and he had been dating for about 3 weeks now, but you were keeping it under wraps. Both of you didn't want to cause a scene by announcing it, but him showing up so early at your dorm room door was bound to set off alarm bells and T-radars of a few of your female classmates if you weren't careful. Throwing the covers of your bed back, you marched to the door and swung it open to confront him. "Tenya, what in the Fakuna Matata is going on here? Why are you—" "Do forgive me, Yin," he said with a bright blush on his cheeks, trying to look everywhere except for at you since you were in your pyjamas and had no bra on, and, well, things were moving and shaking and making their presence known, and honestly, with the amount of times your shirt had been washed, it was getting just threadbare enough for him to be able to see through it a little better than what you probably would have wanted him to. "What is it?" you snapped, glancing up and down the hall to make sure that no one else was awake and witnessing his presence at your door at 5 a.m. I came to tell you that today marks the day before your period is due. You should do some gentle yoga this morning to revitalize your body and help with—" he started. "Tenya!" you hissed with embarrassment. "How the toad do you know when my period is due? That is so embarrassing." "I have downloaded a brilliant app that accurately tracks your period. It also alerts me to your mood and other associated premenstrual conditions that I should be aware of," he stated proudly. "Get out of here before anyone sees you," you hissed again with embarrassment. Now it was your turn to avoid eye contact heavily. "The app did warn me that your temper may be shortened in this time frame," he said with a knowing nod. "Rest assured that I still find you very attractive, and I... The man had accidentally made eye contact with your nipples, and they were just staring each other down now at that point. "Oh my god," you hissed, grabbing for your chest. "Get out of here!" And with that, you promptly closed the door on him and stormed back to your bed and threw the covers up over your head and fell back asleep. Outside your room, Iida bowed to your closed door and walked purposefully off down the hall to the elevator to walk to the store that morning to make sure he had all the supplies ready for your pending period. Later that morning, you awoke and got out of bed. Grumpily, you wandered to the ensuite and had a shower and then got ready for the day, but man, your poor tatas were aching something terrible. "Oh," you moaned as you tenderly scooped them up and plopped them into your bra. "Stupid boobs." You continued on in a somewhat foul mood and put everything else on and then grabbed for your bag and left your room. It was as you got to your locker that you looked up and saw Iida approaching you with some kind of drink in hand. "Good morning, Yin. I got you a fresh fruit smoothie from the local juicer this morning to help with—" "Shh!" you hissed at him, glancing around. "Look, I'm not really embarrassed about it, but I don't really want my time of the month broadcast to everyone, you know?" you huffed. "And what is this?" "It's a smoothie, full of essential vitamins and minerals to assist your body at this stage," he said tactfully. You grunted, and you took it from him. "Thanks," you added after taking a sip. "It's good." "I am glad," he said with a delighted look on his face. "Okay, now can we go to class already? I just want to get this day over with," you mumbled, messily putting your bag in your locker and then grabbing books and stuff and closing your locker and then walking with Iida to class. He offered to carry your things, but you weren't having it. He was being a bit much for your liking at that point. All that day he was very attentive to you and not once complained about your less than desirable attitude. You could feel that you were being unnecessarily abrupt and short, but you couldn't help it. You just felt terrible and you wanted to be left alone. That afternoon you snuck back to your dorm room and fell into your bed, curling up in a ball and promptly falling asleep. It was later again that you got a knock on the door and you sleepily groaned out so that the person on the other side of the door knew that you were alive in there at least. "Yin, I have fresh salad for dinner for you," Iida called, and you nearly phased right through the door to smack him. Your anger propelled you up and out of bed, and before you knew it, you had the door open and you were right up in his face, giving him a little taste of what was on your mind. Poor Iida was taken aback and stood there shocked for a minute while you ranted and raved and made no sense, and when you had finished you just up and slammed the door in his face and stood there seething. As you stood there, the little piece of sane you came around for a chat and hinted that maybe you were being a bit harsh and he was just trying to be helpful and you were being ungrateful. And so you softened, and then worry took over. Oh, man, what if I've ruined this? What if he never wants to see me again? What if he wants to break up? I wouldn't blame him, but I do like him a lot, and I don't want that to happen. I need to apologise, you thought in a panic. Thinking it best to quickly run out of your room and find him, you grabbed for the door handle in front of you and yanked your door open and went to bolt out, but Iida was still standing patiently at your door and you ran smack into him, which caused him to drop the salads and grab onto you and stop you from falling. The 2 salad bowls fell to the floor with a clatter and a thud, lettuce, tomato, cucumbers and croutons flying in all directions as his arms grabbed for you. "Tenya, I'm so sorry!" you yelled at him, then immediately dissolved into tears. "You're being so kind and thoughtful, and I'm just being nasty and mean, and I'm so sorry, please don't hate me," you sobbed. "I don't know why I'm being so horrible." "Yin," he said in a soft, gentle voice, "you are in your premenstrual time, and this is completely normal. I understand that." "But you're being so kind," you wailed. "And I knocked over the salads you brought me too." You bawled harder when you saw the salad pieces lying strewn out across the floor. "Do not worry. I will clean it up. You go and continue to rest," he said as he gently stood you back up and bowed. "I'll be honest though, I don't want salad. I feel like eating cake and chocolate-coated donuts with whipped cream on the top," you sniffed. Iida stood, mid-bend to pick up the salads and looked at you. "But, Yin, that is most unhealthy. I do recommend—" His voice faded as he looked at you standing there with red eyes and tear stains down your cheeks, and then he changed his mind. "You are correct," he said after pausing for a second. "Please rest, and I will get you the donuts and cake. Please tell me the flavour that you had in mind." You told him what you felt like, and after picking up the salad pieces, with some help from you of course, he disappeared off to get what you had asked for. You went and chilled in bed for a bit and eagerly opened the door for him when he knocked again, inviting him in with his bag of goodies. For the first time in the last few days, you actually felt happy and laughed and chatted like you usually would, which made him smile to see you in a good mood again. But the next morning, you woke to cramps and your monthly subscription to Satan's Waterfall. You groaned into your pillow as you rolled over in bed. Just as you were about to get up, there was a knock on your door, and you curiously stumbled out of bed to answer it. "Good morning, Yin," Iida greeted you. "I have all your supplies here," he said, opening a bag in his hands that had everything that you would need for period week, right down to different strength of padliners for flow, and your eyes nearly popped out of your head. "How did you—" you asked. "Your tracker said you would be due today. The cramping must be quite severe. I have a heat pad for you already heated and ready," he said as he took it from the bag and handed it to you. "Whoa, you started to say. "Please get back into bed, and I will now get 2 painkillers and water. I have also magnesium chews and chocolate," he said, walking into your room as soon as you stepped aside. "Tenya, thank you. You tried to add. "I have ordered bed rest for the next 2 days, minimum. The teachers have been notified, and I will assist you with your work when you are feeling ready enough to commence your usual classwork," he said with a smile. You stared at him and then marched straight over, wrapped your arms up around his neck and gave him the biggest kiss on the lips, which sent a pink blush dusting across his entire face. "Tenya, you're amazing. Thank you," you said kindly with tears in your eyes. "I really appreciate this." "It is no trouble, Yin. Now please hop back into bed and rest," he said sternly. "Yes, Doctor," you said with a cheeky smile as you slipped back under the covers and snuggled down with your heat pack and a whole lot of love in your heart for this man. And there is your Iida version of a period comfort to all those who are struggling this week with that time of the month. I really do hope this helped. I hope Iida is one of your comfort characters, and I wish you all the very best. It's not a fun time. I will see you all again next week for yet another one. It's going to be Shoji. Yes, you've been asking for Shoji. I will make sure that his one is up next week. So I'll see you then.